ID Week update time, and we are shifting off yesterday's Burrow stack back to a single entry core built around Baker, Achane, Chase, Njoku, Nico, and the Dolphins' defense because of ownership, matchup quality, and salary flexibility. At quarterback, we are moving from Joe Burrow to Baker Mayfield at 6,600 with a dash rank of 100 against Atlanta, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 29. Baker is projected for 20 and is sitting around 1% owned with 24 fantasy points per game and a last 3 of 17, 38, and 26. We made this switch because we get similar ceiling at microscopic ownership in a softer matchup, and it lets us spend up elsewhere without sacrificing upside. Multiple pieces this week framed Baker's comeback arc alongside Jared Goff as one of the league's best turnarounds, and that narrative aligns with the numbers and the leverage we need. There was also a note that it is an important time for the Tampa Bay quarterback, which supports the expectation of aggressive usage. Running back remains the same as yesterday, with Devon Achane at 6,900 and a dash rank of 100 against Indianapolis, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 28. He is projected for 19 with 18 fantasy points per game and a last 3 of 6, 34, and 15. The why has not changed. Tournament profile is elite when he approaches his typical touch count, and Miami coach Mike McDaniel offered a crucial update on Achane's injury this week. So we are treating him as a news-dependent core play, and will late swap if anything turns wide receiver remains. Jamar Chase at 8,100 with a dash rank of 100 against Cleveland, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 23. He is projected for 20 with 25 fantasy points per game and a last 3 of 22, 22, and 18, and he is still about 1% owned. Nothing from yesterday changed the thesis. Training camp reports have him and the Bengals locked in ahead of 2025, and the ceiling at this ownership is exactly what we want. Tight end is a change from yesterday. We are moving off Trey McBride and onto David Njoku at 4,700 with a dash rank of 100 against Cincinnati, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 24. Njoku is projected for 13 with 14 fantasy points per game and a last 3 of 0, 15, and 0. The reason for the move is price-adjusted leverage and game environment. If the Bengals push, Cleveland throws more, and Njoku gives us tournament volatility with real red zone equity at a lower salary, which opens the rest of the build. He has been in the headlines from preseason week coverage to broader features, but the driver for us is cost plus ceiling in a likely pass-leaning script. Flex flips from Puka back to Nico Collins at 7,400 with a dash rank of 100 against the Rams, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 25. Nico's projected for 17 with 19 fantasy points per game and a last 3 of 13, 28, and 9. The key change since yesterday is comfort with the Texans side after reports that C.J. Stroud is back in action, and Nico has been grouped among the best receivers entering 2025. We prefer his target quality and big play profile at this salary in a defense. We can attack defense moves from the Packers to the Dolphins at 2,700 with a dash rank of 92 versus Indianapolis, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 20. The Dolphins are projected for 6 at about 2.44% ownership. We made this move for salary relief and correlation with a Miami-led script that can force mistakes. Similar projection at a lower price is the right trade to fit the rest of the core. Value quarterback is Kirk Cousins at 4,600 against Tampa Bay, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 22. He averages 15 fantasy points per game with a last 3 of 0, 0, and 8. This is strictly salary relief if you need it, and only if we have starter confirmation. There have been Falcons rumor pieces around quarterback dynamics, so we will monitor news. Projections for quarterbacks are more reliable after multiple starts, so if he is in, the price is the appeal. Value running back is Alec Ingold at 4,000 against Indianapolis, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 28. This is a deep punt only as a leverage pairing with Miami builds, banking on occasional goal line usage in a favorable game environment. Value wide receiver remains Xavier Legette at 4,200 with a dash rank of 100 against Jacksonville, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. He is projected for 8 with 8 fantasy points per game and a last 3 of 8, 0, and 3 at about 1% ownership. He has been highlighted among the rising talents for 2025, and this matchup plus price keeps him in our game stack pool. Value tight end is Tommy Tremble at 2,500 with a dash rank of 67 against Jacksonville, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. He is questionable, projected for 3 with a last 3 of 0, 6, and 4. If active, he is a viable punt in Jaguars game stacks. If not, we will pivot to a same price replacement. Value flex is David Moore at 3,000 against Jacksonville, who have one of the worst defenses overall with an opponent rank of 31. His last 3 are 3, 12, and 4. He is a low-cost attachment to a defense we want to attack, offering big play variance at MIN salary. Punt defense remains the Titans at 2,200 with a dash rank of 74 against Denver, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall with an opponent rank of 19. Projected for 4 at about 0.96% ownership, with recent scores of 3, -1, and 6. This is fine salary relief when you need to jam premium ceilings. Quick recap and why the changes from yesterday. Quarterback flips from Burrow to Baker because we preserve low ownership while gaining a softer opponent rank. Keep ceiling based on a 24-point per game profile and recent 38-point spike, and free salary to upgrade elsewhere. The week's coverage around Baker's resurgence adds confidence to the bet. Running back stays a chain pending Mike McDaniel's update, with the Colts offering a favorable opponent rank and tournament-friendly volatility. Wide receiver stays Jamar Chase for the ceiling at minimal ownership, in a soft opponent rank matchup, with camp reports reinforcing form. Tight end moves to Njoku for cost-adjusted leverage and bring back correlation in a game that can force Cleveland volume. Flex moves to Nico Collins on comfort with CJ Stroud's status and a defense we are willing to attack. Defense shifts to the Dolphins to save salary with comparable projection and low ownership. We will update again if a Kane's status changes, or if Falcons quarterback news shifts the Cousins value calculus. Build around leverage, correlate your lineups, and let the ownership gaps work for you.